Impeachment is a very divisive measure. But if we have to go there, we'll have to go there. But we can't go there unless we have the facts, and we will follow the facts, and we will follow the obstruction that the president is making of us are getting the facts and make our decision when we're ready. That's the only question. That's all I'm going to say about this subject.
So first of all, we do have the facts that we need on Trump's illegal behavior. It's been as well documented as it possibly could be through investigative journalism, through Mueller. I will get to that in a minute. But secondly, you know how you get more facts? Start formal impeachment proceedings, and then the investigative process can actually begin. But the point is that she's stalling. This is what she said 3 months ago, trying to argue that Trump actually wants impeachment. So she's been doing this for a while.
The White House is just crying out for impeachment. That's why he flipped yesterday.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he doesn't want impeachment. And then she said this 2 months ago.
We will proceed when we have what we need to proceed, not one day sooner. The decision will be made in a timely fashion. This isn't endless. And when we have the best, strongest possible case, and that's not endless either. I mean, it may be endless in terms of the violations of the law that the president is engaged in.
It's not endless, she says. Well, you seem to indicate that it was back in March with some pretty damning quotes. In an interview with the Washington Post published in March, Pelosi said, "I'm not for impeachment." Pelosi told the paper, "Impeachment is so divisive to the country that unless there's something so compelling and overwhelming and bipartisan, I don't think we should go down that path because it divides the country. And he's just not worth it." He's the president, so he's pretty worth it. He's a big fish. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. And she goes, overwhelming and bipartisan. Have you met the Republicans? I think you have. They'll never voluntarily go down that path unless their hand is forced. And their hand will only be forced if the proceedings begin and the investigation begins to gather information. And we're talking about divisiveness, however you say it. The Republicans don't care about being divisive at all. They're very divisive. And guess what? They've been destroying the Democrats electorally for the past decade, for the past 10 years. So Pelosi's not stupid, though. She knows that there will never be bipartisan consensus on impeachment. It's ridiculous. And that's why she's saying it. She doesn't want to go down that path. She has made that abundantly clear, even though she knows he obstructed justice, as I said. Mueller said he wasn't going to go down that path. He did not look into his financial crimes, but he made it very clear, in addition to the investigative work that, say, the New York Times has done about how he's enriched himself with taxpayer money when it comes to his resort in the UK, in Scotland. So, there's more and more and more. So why is this the case, may you ask? Why is Pelosi so adamant about stonewalling on this issue? In the same interview, she complimented Trump with a laugh, calling him a great organizer for Democrats, a great fundraiser for Democrats, and a great mobilizer at the grassroots level for Democrats. And I think that's good for America. I think that's good for you. He's not good for America. The fundraising aspect is what's good for you. So really, that's what it comes down to. Nancy Pelosi is not a great legislator. She's not a master legislator, she tried to say. She's a great fundraiser. She has great relationships with big money donors who have Trump derangement syndrome, and want things to go back to the way they were and hunky-dory for them pre-Trump. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be outraged by Trump, but they're not outraged in the same way that progressives are outraged, in the way that regular people are outraged. They hate his decorum, but they really just want their tax cuts to still remain in place. So they would be very vitriolically against Bernie Sanders, those same kind of fundraisers. She wants to keep capitalizing off of the outrage that Trump elicits from reasonable, wealthy people who keep writing her checks. That's really all she cares about. So to even say that he's in any way good for America shows how disconnected she is from the reality of all of this. And it's deeply disappointing. We knew that this is what she would be as Speaker of the House, as leader of the Democrats. Unfortunately, the only people who were challenging her were to the right of her. Seriously? So we didn't have an alternative. Eventually, we're going to need someone in this position who is not just a lapdog for the establishment and is not so fixated on money as opposed to actually electoral politics and winning the narrative.